let's go into a topic that has certainly been controversial, and it deals with influence. The influential programs that are out there. The Klouts and the Creeds and the people that believe in them and all that. And the Klout, this new endeavor that Klout's doing with Bing and things like that. Give me your take on that right now.
I've been adopted by this venture capitalist in New York. He's teaching me about venture capital. The most important thing that this VC has taught me is he said, you invest in the person. You've got to see the intelligence. You've got to see the drive. You've got to see the absolute passion of somebody who will never, ever, ever give up. Whether you like Klout or you hate Klout, it doesn't really matter, but you've got to admire the CEO, Joe Fernandez, and how he's run that company and turned really nothing. The entry barriers to getting into that market are so low. And he has turned it really into something distinctive, and he's gotten traction. Microsoft vetted Klout for 6 months. They sent their people in, and before they made any investment, they investigated Klout for 6 months because, number one, they wanted to find out, are they creating distinct value? And number two, is this something we could do on our own? At the end of 6 months, they decided they've got something here. And let's face it, Klout, Cred, Peer Index, they basically do the same thing. They really do. So, people that say they love Cred and hate Klout, that just doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. They're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing, except Klout's doing more of it. They've got $30 million worth of capital. They've got 10 PhDs working on their algorithms. It's a tool, man. It's an indicator. It's a blunt object. But sometimes all you need is a blunt object. A billboard is a blunt object. But billboards have served companies very, very well. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you need a list of people who can move content on sporting equipment. Maybe that's what you need. Is Klout good for that? Yep, Klout's good for that.
If you take all the missteps out of the equation, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think there's such a visceral hatred on one side about that program?
Fundamentally, what they're trying to do is icky. Look, when I started looking at this company, I thought this was ridiculous. I was totally offended. I wrote anti-Klout blog posts, thinking, how dare you try to rate my influence? And the thing that strikes at the heart of people, I think, is they've got this tagline, the standard for influence. Come on. They're not the standard for influence. They'll never be the standard for influence. Okay, now let's get through that emotion and let's look at what they're really doing. And then it starts to make sense. I think it's easy to understand why there's a visceral reaction because it feels like high school. They're rating you in a public way. They're giving you a number that you can compare to other people. And I try to stay centered. I don't spend time saying, oh my gosh, I need to do more Facebook today or my Klout score is going to go down. I try to really stay centered. But every once in a while, if my Klout score goes down a point, I get a little twinge. I get a little twinge. And I'm making a mindful attempt at staying centered. I'm too busy to mess around with Klout scores. My view is I'm going to do my work. And whatever happens, happens. And I think that's what everybody should do. But it's easy to be caught up in this. It's easy to say, wait a minute. Believe me, Randy, since I wrote that book, I've met some people who are really out there.
I'm sure.
I'll tell you a story. Even before I wrote the book, somebody heard I was writing the book and called me and said, I need to know the secret. I need to know how to raise my Klout score. I need it right now. I can't wait until your book comes out. I've got to do this now. It's like, you're really? There are extremists in everything. There are There are extremists in every political party, in every religion, in there are jerks in companies who are extremists. And look, in some way, this might feed people's egos. Okay, fine. As human diversity, I don't really get caught up in it.
And we were talking in the green room before we went on air, but
The green room?
That's what they call it, Mark. That's what they call it.
Where was the shrimp cocktail, my friend?
I gave you a virtual cocktail.
I missed that.